It's been a while since we've seen you. I see you got a new look, the tattoo. Can you talk to us about the inspiration of that and when did you get it?
Yeah, I just love artwork, tattoos. Actually, I was getting my armpit done, and it was hurting a little bit, so I was like trying to let it cop out to my tattooer. I was like, hey, let's put one on the face. So I went to the face and did it, and just to give me some time to not act like a sissy on the armpit. So we put the face tattoo on and just went with it. Full send. Fuck it.
Yeah. As I said, last time we saw you was in for UFC 300. So I want to ask you, like, have you missed being back? And I guess what's been the wait, I guess, for you to get back in the cage?
Oh man, this is everything to me. I've sacrificed my whole life for these opportunities, for these moments, for fight camps, for it all to be in there, like it was a goal to always be a UFC world champion, make it to the UFC, to fight in the big stage all across the world. So, being out, something that you love and would do anything for, is challenging mentally, emotionally, physically, especially within the fight with UFC 300. I was feeling great, against a good, adversary in Davison Figueiredo. I ended up getting taken down in the second round and had really bad vertigo. So I had to go through extensive, therapy, specialist, was in and out of the hospital, would be put in the hospital from vertigo. So that uncertainty of not knowing when, I was going to even just be a regular, back to my regular self. I couldn't even lay down, sleep. It was troubling, but I kept faith in myself, prayed to my God, had a close team, family that loved me and supported me and, was going to get me through it. And I would like to, take hats off to the UFC performance, the doctors there, the PT, everyone there. They put my health first, instead of just jumping me back in the cage to fight, as the fighters wanted to do, I wanted to do. When I was sitting in that hospital bed, I was wanting to do anything to get able to fight, weigh in a fight, but there was no way that I was making it. So they put my health first and really took care of me and got me the best help that I needed to get better, and I felt better than ever. I've had a great camp. We're here talking about the fight, but I'm just very excited to go out there and fight on Saturday for a lot of reasons, but this is the best I felt in a while. Just mental clarity, physically, emotionally. I'm just excited to go on there, and Raoni Barcelos is a dog. That's why I asked for this fight, and just excited to be back, 14 months away.
Yeah. Glad you're doing well, man. And I got to ask you, like, you've had a lot of health setbacks throughout your career, which is why we've seen, those periods of inactivity and whatnot. How much has that tested your drive and I guess your want in this sport? Because I think a lot of fighters or a lot of people that would go through that would probably at some point just bail out entirely on the sport. But here you are, returning and you're still at it.
Yeah, I look at it like this. I was under 2 years in the UFC, became a world champion. 6 fights, blasted to the top, came out of nowhere, and that was that part of my life. This is part of life. Like, hey, it was easy to win the title, you know what I mean? It's harder to stay here, and that's what I'm doing. I'm staying here, I think that's the mindset, the mentality that I bring into it. Like, yeah, I'm a former world champion. It's great, love it. It was something that was amazing to accomplish, but it didn't fulfill me. So for me to be here, going through what I go through, the injuries, setbacks, losses, whatever you want to call it, to wake up every day and chase this dream, to push yourself to the limit, to set goals inside of the fight, the fight career I'm talking about, something that wakes me up every day, It motivates me, it scares me, it fills me with just all kinds of different emotions, to go in there and fight another man that's willing to do whatever to get the win, to provide for his family, and that's what it is at the end of the day. Like, I got a family that I'm trying to provide for and, make a good life for. So fighting was my outlet, was my gift, I got to use it. So I'm blessed with the skills and just go out there and have fun out there, and that's it. So I think that what keeps me coming back and just showing up every day, no excuses, no one's going to save you, you just got to work hard. No one cares how hard you just got to do it yourself.
Yeah. Did it ever get close to you hanging it up, or no? You always knew you were going to return.
I mean, I've wanted to hang it up even before I was a professional. You know what I mean? Like why do I do this? Why do I want to do this? But I had no other option. You know, fighting was my way out. You know, all my friends are hooked on drugs, dead, locked up. You know, not happy with life. I was like, man, if I can just tunnel in, zone in, and grind at this. You know, I had, everyone told me I was, I had good potential and was, all this and that. But I was like, man, until you really believed it. And then, I made those sacrifices, moving out to alpha male and training with those guys and seeing how talented I was without even really having any experience in fighting besides just, I started training, as a martial artist. I didn't grow up in a martial art dojo, a jiu-jitsu academy. We grew up street fighting, boxing, and wrestling, and going out there to the gym and seeing those talented, humans train to fight and the way they live the martial arts as martial artists was inspiring to be around. And I just and this is where I need to be. Got there and, had some luck, got, really good friendships, family from that, and just kind of took off from there and knew that's what I wanted to do. But it's all the time. I mean, even after I won the world title, I wanted to be done. I was like, because it didn't fulfill me. Being a world champion, it wasn't nothing. You gotta think I sat about that and focused on that and worked for that for over a decade. And then when I got the title, it was like, this is it. It wasn't it for me. But I love fighting so much that I need fighting. I truly do need fighting in my life to help me battle my demons, focus, to have that just hunger to wake up and attack every day like I do, and also just the unknowing of the future. Yeah, we can say I had a great camp, feeling good, but you still don't know what's going to happen inside that octagon come Saturday night. You can be prepared as you want, but it's still the unknowing. I think that's what excites me every day, to get up and train and and go after it.
Yeah. And lastly, can you give us a preview of this fight with Raoni Barcelos and what are you expecting from him? A veteran like yourself, been around for a while.
Yeah, Raoni's been around for a while. Looks really good in his last few fights. He's a dog, so, it's going to be a fight, and I'm excited for that. I'm prepared wherever it needs to be, wherever it needs to go to get this win. Just focused on that, and hope he had a great preparation, and, the best of luck to him, and excited to get to him Saturday.
Hey, Cody. I saw on Instagram you recently, I think about 2 weeks ago, hit 3 years sobriety. So congratulations on that. Can you sort of speak to how that journey has been as it coincides with your mixed martial arts journey?
Yeah, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Being sober has been a game changer for me. Not that I was a big addict or, but, when I chose to do that, it was always never right decision. So for me for my, career, it's amazing. As a father, it's amazing. As a boyfriend, it's amazing. As, as a son, a brother, it changed my life in a way that I didn't think that it would, but as I keep progressing and I'm in that, sobriety, I'm stronger. I feel better. I feel clear. 6 months I haven't, smoked weed either. And I've smoked weed since I was, 12 years old, 13 years old. So man, just the clarity that I have going in, it's nice, man. It's nice to have that mental edge, of clarity inside my career, but also in my life. There's no coping mechanism. You face your fears and you get up every day and tackle them no matter what. We all go through things, it's we don't need to mask them with drugs or alcohol. And I come from a long line of, addicts. My father's an addict, been in prison my whole life, had a lot of examples in my life that were, family members and uncles that been incarcerated, addicts. So it's, something that I never wanted to do, and I always wanted to make my mom super proud, so I just, if I can quit one thing that's not, a bad habit, then, but it's helped out a lot in life and in my career, just focus, so, it's a good living.
Congratulations on that. Sort of related, Sean O'Malley kind of famously, ahead of this UFC 316 fight, mentioned that he had stopped smoking weed this year. He obviously lost, but y'all have a little bit of a history of back and forth. With the win this weekend, is that kind of a fight you would still like to get to at some point?
Yeah, he should have kept smoking because he looked like shit. But yeah, whatever he had to do, Sometimes you lose and you try to reinvent yourself and find yourself. And at the end of the day, man, like you know who you are. You know what you got to do. I know I'm one of the best fighters in the world. So it's like but when you lose, you got everyone in your ear saying you need to do this and do that. Just remember what got you there and who you are at the end of the day. But yeah, that's a fight that, definitely, I think that's a huge pay-per-view sale fight, Sean and I. But like I said, I'm focused on this fight this Saturday, and then we'll let, everything else fall in line.
Do want to go one more to that, though, because after 316, big topic of conversation, Merab Dvalishvili may be the greatest bantamweight of all time. As a bantamweight champion yourself, do you think he's the greatest? Kind of, where do you come down on this argument?
I personally, I like Merab. I think he's a great, great human. I mean, just his hard work and his fighting style and just how he is as a person, really humble guy. Great fighter, he's turn it up. He's doing well, he's winning, he's doing his thing in there. As far as best, greatest, you'd have to line him up. I think it's truly Dominic Cruz is the greatest bantamweight of all time. He's, from WC day to here, like I think Dominic Cruz has that. It's hard to keep saying, oh, it's the best, it's the best. It's like, how many best or greatest can you have in a weight class? And that just shows too with the bantamweight how talented it is. The greatest, the greatest, the greatest. How many people you've heard of that the greatest? You had Henry Cejudo that was in there, that was a bantamweight, flyweight champion, one of the greatest as well. Our weight division is stacked. There's so many talented fighters in that division.
Thanks, and just last one from me. I believe this is the last fight in your current UFC deal. Are you looking to stay with the promotion or maybe test the waters outside, just kind of get through this week and then move from there?
Yeah, see, I do a lot of things that I don't need to publicize or, hey, I'm doing this. I signed a new deal. Ali, my manager, got me a new
Congratulations.
good deal. He's always, taking care of me. So, like for me, it's just another fight. I've obviously loved the UFC, want to be with the UFC. It's the best organization in the world. So I let him handle that. It's just another fight for me. Like, yeah, I'm grateful that, and don't take it in a negative way, but I don't need to go out and praise, oh, new 4-fight deal. Like, I'm here, like it's great. I'm thankful to be here for another contract, but, it's for me, it's another fight and I got to get the job done.
Thank you.
Yep.
Cody, right here. You talked about the vertigo thing. I just kind of wanted to get into that a little bit because we've seen with like professional golfers who get vertigo on the golf course, they get it to the point where like they'll be walking down the fairway and they have to lie down because it's so bad. That's golfing. You got to go in there and you got to deal with somebody that's punching you in the face for 15 or 25 minutes. Plus you've got to be able to, be balanced and light on your feet on there. So when it came to the vertigo, like, was it to the point that you couldn't even like move side to side without getting off balance or things like that?
Oh, it was horrible. It was actually in the Davison fight when I got taken down. That's why I laid there. I was like, oh man, I couldn't. It's just spinning so bad. Felt like I had the drunk spins, and I'm like, I got Davison, saying, come on, Cody. And I was like, bro, like, once I stop spinning, man, I'm getting up. We're getting after it, but they just never stopped. And, then training takes in, I was in a vulnerable position where he could really elbow the shit out of me. I was trying to hold his head, and I really didn't know. I couldn't really see, but I could hear. Like, I just feel like I was on a carousel. I could know my coaches were on the right, so I knew I was positioned in the right. But, like, in those transitions of the arm choke and then getting the hooks in, like, my body wasn't reacting. Like, I was just so lagged. And then I was in, just after the fight, like, I ended up having to just, like, tap out. It was horrible. And then go in the back, and Heather and Olivia took care of me. They gave me some, like, stuff to help me from throwing up. Constantly threw up. I went back and watched the fight at my house, and I kept, like, laying my head back a little bit and running in the bathroom throwing up. Finally, we went to the hospital, and I was admitted to there and just kept throwing up. And thought we had it right. Went to see Dr. Collins in UPMC in Pittsburgh. Did their vestibular therapy. Did all that again. And I was like, all right, cool, feeling good. Body was feeling good. I got back in the training. Like, it was all right. And then, fight week with Miles Jones, that Tuesday I woke up and told my girlfriend, I was like, man, I got vertigo. And I just couldn't stop throwing up. Didn't even know where I was at. She had to help me to the car, drive me there. We drove me to the UFC PI. Heather advised us to go there. Dr. Davison saw us at the hospital. Drugged me up so much that I'd wake up, throw up, pass back out. Like, I was just out of it. And it was like a couple months, man, I just felt not myself. Had to go back to the UPMC, go through the vestibular therapy. So like I said, like that 14 months out wasn't just like I chose to be out. Like I was dying to get back. Like I loved to fight. I enjoyed to fight. Like Davison fight was good, until it wasn't. That's something that I couldn't control inside there. But this camp's been good. I'm just hoping that everything stays afloat, make the weight, and just go have fun on Saturday.
And then you talked about earlier about, how there's been so many points in my life where I've been done with fighting. And like, I kind of relate to it, right? Because it's sort of that addictive personality thing where you're like, man, I want to do this. And then you get there and you're like, okay, I got here. So what other things do you have in your life to kind of keep you on track, when you get to that point with fighting, like, all right, I'm bored of this, but I know I got to do it because it's my job. Like we see the tattoos, we see the motorcycles. Yeah. So like what sort of things can you go to when you get tired of fighting and be like, man, I got to check out for a day or 25 minutes or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely the motorcycles. I have a business partner, Lawrence Allen. We're starting No Love Cycles, so we're doing frame-up custom FXR builds. We actually have our first giveaway bike. Should be wrapping up in the next month, so look for that on No Love Cycles and our Instagram pages for that giveaway, how to enter it. But yeah, dude, work on the bikes is like awesome. Like Lawrence, I've known him for years and became a real close friend of mine. Helps me out. He's a wizard with motorcycles. I mean, I can pick up a bolt that's in my garage. I'm like, dude, what's this off of? I'm like, dude, it's here. He's like, oh, that's your bracket to your exhaust. And I'm like, oh shit. Like he's on FaceTime in Tennessee. You know what I mean? I FaceTime him and I have shitty Wi-Fi in my garage. I'm like, dude, like I can't get this clutch out. Like he's like, oh, and so it's good, man. It gives me something else to think about. Like I'll be in there, and I'm like, it's one of those things like, if you're taking the primary off, like you have to do it all. Like I can't, like if I can't sleep that night. If I know I got it half taken apart, I have to go down and do it. And he's the same way. He's a hard worker. He's super talented, and also, man, he's just a good dude to be around. Good energy. So we're excited for that, adventure together with No Love Cycles. So definitely the motorcycles and also riding. I love riding. Just getting on the bike and just go and ride. And like, things that I like to do and enjoy to do can kill you. But it's like, hey, I'm gonna go ride my bike, just go have some fun. I'm gonna go ride to the gym. Hope I don't crash on the way and die. I hope I don't get my leg broken in sparring. And like I'd ride my bike and I'm riding there. I'm like, man, I hope I don't I literally think that all the time. Like, I hope I don't break my leg kicking so I can ride my bike back, or it's gonna have to get towed. That's the shit that goes in my head when I go to the gym. I'm on the bike. I'm like, damn, like, but it's freeing. I like it. I pull up on the bike so for me, horses too. Spending time with my family. I got an amazing girlfriend, son. I mean, I'm winning at life. That's the thing. Like the wins and losses in this, keep me afloat and keep me able to do and provide. But like at the end of the day, man, like they're my rock. They're who I go to. So life is good for me with whatever. Wherever I'm at, I know I always can count on them and have people that care about me and will pick me up when I need, carried.
Hey, Cody, so you mentioned, you said you were winning at life with your family and everything you've got going on out of the cage. At what point did you realize that that is what you wanted and you wanted to win at life that way?
I think that's always something I wanted. I didn't care about the fame, the money, like anything like that at all. Like, that's all nice. I mean, yeah, money is great to live. And like once you was a world champion, it was like, okay. I believed in myself when no one believed in myself to make it here. Even before I even had an amateur fight, So it was like wasn't that big deal to me. So I knew that wasn't going to make me happy. So what truly was going to make me happy is having that stuff that really money can't buy, no arena can buy, So that at the end of the day, man, like when you have that, like I think that's your richest part of you. The family that loves you, cares about you, a close knit of friends, coaches, teammates that you like to be around, you like their energy, because this career is short and this life's short, like who knows? It could be the last fight. We don't ever know. One injury away, even that's in the day. Tomorrow's never promised. So for me, like just taking those little things and never taking them for granted, and just thankful that I have the people that I have in my life, where I'm at, So that's it, man. Just good energy. I'm excited to go out there on Saturday and put on performance, and that's just like my thank you to them. That's on me. You know, I go out there and fight and win. We all win. It's not just me, you know. And that's why I take it so hard when I lose, because it's like, they instill so much into me, my coaches, my teammates, my family, my friends. So winning at life is just, you know, being able to come home to them, win or lose, you know, it's like, hey, they still got my back, you know, always.